Hey, alright, making movies is hard. You put together a story and just hope it doesn't have any glaring instances of totally idiotic logic. We call these errors in the story plot holes. Sometimes they are so big you could drive a truck through them. We're looking at you there, Fast and the Furious series. But when you have a franchise on your hands or a whole freaking cinematic universe, from time to time the powers holding the strings will listen to our cries over the internet and work something into subsequent films to try and act like, oh, we meant that. Did you think? Oh, silly you. Some people call them fixes, others call them retcons. Whatever your opinion of them, these cinematic equivalents of liquid paper are actually quite fascinating to see unfold. My name is Adam Cleary, and these are 10 movies that addressed previous plot holes. Number 10, Avengers Endgame. Where was Captain Marvel, and when did Hydra steal Loki's scepter? Carol Danvers has seemingly unlimited cosmic power. She could have made Infinity War a 15-minute long movie where she answers the Asgardian distress call and just stuffs Thanos' head down a toilet. But she doesn't, so where is she? The answer comes in a simple line of dialogue between Marvel and Thor during the opening scenes of Endgame. She states that she was busy defending worlds that don't have their own mightiest heroes to protect them. Endgame doesn't stop there though, with answering the burning questions over off-screen happenings in the MCU. While Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk and Ant-Man go back to the Battle of New York from the first Avengers film, Cap is able to sneakily steal the Mind Stone encased in Loki's scepter from the S.H.I.E.L.D. double agents working for Hydra. This scene itself is a patch-up for the plot hole concerning how the hell the nefarious organisation got his hands on the scepter before the beginning of Age of Ultron. Number 9, Alien Covenant. How Xenomorphs became a thing. When Prometheus was touted as a prequel to the Alien series, we hoped it was going to answer questions about what the space jockey thing was. Instead, we just got a big weird metaphor for creationism, and they left this xenomorph-looking dude just stranded on a deserted planet. Alien Covenant forgets about the stranded xenomorph altogether though, and instead focuses on David the android who has been living on the home planet of the engineer species. David's been experimenting with gene splicing for years, you see, in his little man cave or mandroid cave or whatever, and this explains the creation of the xenomorphs and their first contact with humans. So a robot did it, and just sort of forget what you saw in the last film, I guess. Number 8, Beauty and the Beast. How long the people in the castle have been cursed. It was 26 years between Disney's animated classic Beauty and the Beast and its inevitable remake in 2017. That's 26 years for all you nerds to point out the plot holes. Like, I don't know, top of my head, Chewbacca here needing to break the curse before his 21st birthday, all the singing teacups saying they've been cursed for 10 years, and yet there still being paintings of the prince as a grown-ass man above the mantelpiece. Do the maths there, and something doesn't quite add up. So, and this is probably a great lesson in just not overcomplicating things, the remake simply changed the line in the song to obscure the length of time the curse had been going on for, deciding instead that it was more interesting if they were just vague about it. Number 7, Aladdin. How Wishes Are Made. It was 27 years between Disney's animated classic Aladdin and its inevitable remake in 2019. That's 27 years for all you nerds to point out all the bad racial and gender stereotypes in it. Disney made sure to cast more appropriate actors and gave Princess Jasmine a more proactive role. But they also addressed some nitpicking plot points in the film as well, like exactly how many wishes Aladdin can make. In the new version, the genie's rules changed so that the wishmaker has to rub the lamp each time they want to use it, thus making all of the wishes in the film very easy to identify. Well done, Disney, it's another great disaster cleaned up. Now please go invent me a flying carpet. Thank you! Number 6, Jason Goes to Hell. How Jason keeps coming back to life. Right, okay, where to start? After so many movies in the series definitively killing off Jason, no, for real, 100% definitely for keepsies this time, and then him just coming back in the next one, filmmakers decided that for part 9, they'd better give fans an explanation. In Jason Goes to Hell, it's revealed that he'll keep coming back to life unless he is stabbed through the heart by a special enchanted dagger. The Necronomicon from the Evil Dead series makes an appearance, and the suggestion is that his mother made a pact with the devil. Then in Jason X, David Cronenberg himself informs us that he has regenerative powers, meaning that he's a genetic anomaly and it's actually nothing to do with his mother or the devil. In Freddy vs. Jason, Krueger himself just morphs into Jason's mother and what does he do? Just dares him not to die or something? Just think of it this way, right? Jason is immortal and simply goes into a dormant state between murder sprees until he either senses two teenagers doing the old greased weasel tango or gets a sniff of weed. There you go, fixed it. Number 5, Avengers Infinity War. Heimdall can transport without the Bifrost. Yeah, do you remember at the end of the first Thor movie, Point Break here uses Mjolnir to break the Bifrost, despite being told that if he does this, he'll never see her again. Then in the first Avengers movie, he simply just, shows up on the Quinjet and is all like, "Oh sirs, may I have my brother back?" This plot hole was finally answered at the beginning of Infinity War when Heimdall is able to call upon his forefathers to send Hulk back to Earth. This seams up the plot hole pretty nicely, confirming that the Bifrost's magic partly resided within Heimdall himself. Just like how Thor Ragnarok explained that Thor doesn't really need Mjolnir to wield the power of lightning, as it's sort of his thing anyway. Now, since Heimdall's other power is a cosmic level of awareness, he would have been able to see that Loki was causing mischief on Earth. And being Thor's Bessie mate and all that, he surely called up a favour from the forefathers again to send him to Earth, just as he did for Hulk in Infinity War. Yep, alright Marvel, fair play, you've shut us all up there. Number 4, Jurassic World. The dinosaurs are missing a key feature. Not to be a nerd here, but since the original Jurassic Park back in 1993, it's sort of become widely accepted amongst paleontologists and the like that most dinosaurs had feathers. I don't know what it is, something to do with the fact that in the current world, birds are the direct descendants of dinosaurs, and birds have feathers, and that's how they figured it out, and I'm not really sure. Now, this was learned before the release of The Lost World, and story goes, the film's artists drew some mock-ups of dinosaurs with feathers. Steven Spielberg, a director dedicated to the finer points of detail, took a long hard look at them and said, "Ha, no, that's lame," and the idea was nixed. Yeah, we got some plumage in the third one, but that's about it. But they actually address this in Jurassic World. Geneticist Dr. Henry Wu complains to Simon Masrani, CEO of Jurassic World, that the dinosaurs in the park don't look accurate on purpose. Masrani, like John Hammond before him, ordered the geneticists to make the dinosaurs without feathers so they would look the way people imagine them. So, there you go, as ever, it was a billionaire's fault. Number 3, Terminator Dark Fate. Why didn't Skynet send more than one Terminator? Yeah, so right, if you've not seen it, in Terminator, a big scary robot goes back in time to kill a woman before she can father the leader of humanity's future resistance. Then that fails quite spectacularly, so in Terminator 2, they take another shot at it by this time sending a smaller but scarier robot to kill the resistance leader as a young boy. Then of course that doesn't work, so in Terminator 3 they send another one back, except this time it's a woman with bendy legs and your dad liked it, and yet again they just blow her face up. What fans have been asking ever since though is, if Skynet is so smart, why doesn't it just send loads of Terminators, or even just 2 Terminators, to get the job done? Well, in 2019's Terminator Dark Fate, this exact plot hole was directly addressed. It shows us Sarah and John chilling out on a beach in Guatemala a few years after the events of Terminator 2. They're living out a happy existence, believing that they've prevented the oncoming war and life is well, and isn't that a lovely sunset, and oh god no, Sarah's guard is dropped and a T-800 shows up on the beach and murders John right in front of her. And what's cleverest of all, Skynet sent this Terminator back at the exact same time they sent the one from the original film. Since, well, I mean, that's very obviously how you would do that, so well played, Toasters. Number 2, Halloween, the LAURIE-MICHAEL retcon. 1981's Halloween 2 reveals that tortured babysitter Laurie was not just some random picked by Michael Myers in the first film, they are actually siblings. Now, that's fine, that's an interesting idea, but this plot development makes precisely 0 sense for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're never shown Michael having a younger sister in the film's original opening, and number 2, Michael's parents were still alive at the end of that opening when they discovered him with the bloody knife. So for that to be true, they would presumably have to just look at that situation, hold up their hands, go, oh gosh, we are truly terrible parents, and then drop their as previously unseen younger daughter off at an orphanage. The rest of the films continue with this continuity. And from parts 4 to 8, they maintained this blood connection between Strode and Myers. Then in 2007's Rob Zombie remake, the shock rocker turned shock director spends a third of the film giving Michael and his family a more developed backstory, including Michael's baby sister, who is later adopted by the Strode family. Then in Halloween 2018, this plot point was just entirely discontinued. Just dropped, forgotten about, never spoken again, and that is, I suppose, one way to do it. Number 1, Rogue One, how easily the Death Star could be destroyed. Yes, the last entry on our list is about a whole goddamn movie with a budget of $265 million that was made purely to solve one single plot hole. In the original Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is able to blow up the Death Star with just 2 proton torpedoes straight into a thermal exhaust port. Now, I'm not the first person to say it, and I absolutely won't be the last, but if that's your space station, why not just put, like, a metal grate over that hole? It would cost you $20 maximum, and you would make the thing invincible. Well, 2016's Rogue One follows the story of the ragtag team of rebels who steal the plans to the Death Star and hand them off to Princess Leia mere moments before the opening of the original film. We discover that the man who oversaw the design of the Death Star, A1 Galen Erso, was a former Imperial scientist who defected, but was then tracked down, captured, and forced to work on the Death Star against his will. Erso designed a flaw in the Death Star that was so small the Empire would never find it, but crucially, so critical to the plans that the rebellion could use it to blow it up. In answering that one 40-year-old long plot hole, Disney made themselves $1 billion. So there you have it, those are 10 movies that addressed previous plot holes. Let us know what you made of it all in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime though, thank you so much for watching. I have of course been Adam Cleary, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.